All righty, so we're getting started with chapter 3 of the license class, life policy provisions, riders and options, which is about 12 questions on the test. So it's significant, but chapter 5 and chapter 6 are the most important. But we want to go ahead and get through this and make sure that you guys are understanding provisions, riders and options on life insurance policy. So I'm going to get this set up so we can sit in our group meetings here. And we are ready to get this licensing class, part 3, down to a science, and we'll do chapter 4 right afterwards. And we are on pace to get licensed here. So, see here, get this out there. Got it going. All right, so we're gonna go into life provisions, riders, and options of life insurance. And then we're gonna have my man Vincent start on page 48. Start reading for me on page 48, and I'm gonna give you some highlights, things that we need to pay attention to.
We don't have.
The highlight, I'll grab it for you. Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see Brandon. Hey, Brandon, you ain't got no highlighter, do you? Okay. All right. You're gonna see if we got one. You can use this for now. That orange, you gonna see we got that big.
Okay.
All right, so we rocking with chapter 3. My man Vincent will start out reading, and we're gonna get some highlighted points so we can get through chapter 3 and 4 today.
Alrighty. While there is no standard policy for form in life insurance, the standard policy provisions adopted by the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, NAIC, created uniformity among life insurance policies. The following are commonly known as standard life insurance provisions. Entire contract.
Okay, so don't go through those. This is go down to one where it talks about the entire contract.
Okay. Number 1, the entire contract provision stipulates that the policy and the copy of the application, along with any rider or amendments, constitutes the entire contract. No statements made before the contract was written can be used to alter the contract. Neither the insurer nor the insured may change policy provisions once the policy is in effect without both parties agreeing to it and the change being affixed to the contract.
So they're saying, hey, listen, these are the parts of a contract.
Okay.
And in order for a contract to be valid, there's nothing that you said before or after changes anything. So you can't talk about, we talked about this before you signed it, or we talked about this after. No, it's what's in the contract. The policy, you gotta have the original application. Okay. So whenever somebody get issued a life insurance policy, affixed with that package is gonna be the original application that you took out. Okay. Why? So that when it's delivered, both parties know nothing changed after they left each other's presence.
Right.
And if you need to make a change, then that amendment needs to be attached to that contract as well. So somebody may say, okay, I said I wasn't a smoker. It issued out as a non-smoker, but then you find out they was a smoker. Well, then we got to change it. The rating got to change, and that has to be affixed in order to constitute an entire contract.
Okay.
All right, so you can go to point number 2.
Insuring clause. The insuring clause or insuring agreement sets forth the basic agreement between the insurer and the insured. It states the insurer's promise to pay the death benefit upon the insured's death. The insuring clause usually is located on the policy face page and also defines who's the party to the contract are. The premium to be paid, how long coverage is in force, and the amount of the death benefit.
So up under these clauses, this is how we're going to insure you. Right, we're gonna pay the debt claim as long as you've been paying the premium. Who's the parties of the contract? How much coverage? How long the policy enforcement? All that's on the face page. So as soon as you open up a policy package, the very first page tell you the insurance clauses. These are the clauses in which by you're insured. Okay. All right. Part 3.
Free look. This provision allows the policy owner 10 days from receipt to look over the policy, and if dissatisfied for any reason, return it for a full refund of premium. A free look period starts when the policy owner receives a policy delivery, not when the insurer issues the policy. Certain life insurance transactions, such as replacement, may require a longer free look period.
So it's saying the free look period means you got 10 days to decide you don't want this policy. And if you don't want it, they got to give you back your premium that you paid. It ain't 10 days from when the company say you approved. Mm-hmm. It's when you get your policy in your hand.
From the beginning.
Right, it starts then. So if you got a client and they got approved in January, but you didn't get the policy in their hand until June, then the free look period starts in June.
Okay.
Even though they've been covered January through June, if they would have died, we would have paid. They can come back in June and say, I don't want this. You got to give them back all 6 months of those premiums, and you as an agent gonna get a charge back.
Wow.
They can come back 7 years from now. They was covered. If they would have died, we would have paid. But you'll get a charge back for all 7 years
Okay.
because they never signed off and said they received the policy.
Okay.
So we do a lot of electronic deliveries. Like a lot of our policies, you can get right an email. It's up to the agent to make sure that the client opened up their email and agreed to a now desk deliverance. And the free look period starts then.
Okay.
So the free look period in Missouri is 10 days, but for Primerica, we give them 30.
30.
All right?
Okay.
Keep going.
Number 4, consideration. Both parties to contract must provide some value or consideration in order for the contract to be valid.
Right, so you got to have some consideration.
Okay.
Ain't no contract without no consideration.
Okay. The consideration provision states that the consideration value offered by the insured is the premium and statement made in the application. The consideration given by the insurer is the promise to pay in accordance with the terms of the contract. The consideration clause is not always a separate provision, but it's often included in the entire contract provision.
So what we going to consider? What you putting up, what we putting up? Your promise to pay the premium, our promise to pay the debt claim. That's consideration. You going to pay the premium and you didn't allow an application. That's what we got to consider from you. And our consideration as an insurance company, we're going to pay the debt claims when you die.
Okay.
That's all you need to know. Let's go to assignment owner's right. Number 5, owner's right, all you need to know is that the owner has the right to change the beneficiary.
Okay.
The owner has the right to increase or decrease the policy. It don't matter who the insured is. The insured don't got no rights to the policy.
Okay.
They just the person that's being covered. So if you took out a policy on your wife and you the owner, all she is covered. She got no say so, no rights to the policy. You do. Does that make sense?
And that should be clarified in the beginning. Who's the owner? Okay.
Who's owner? Because if you got your kids insured, you the owner of their policy because they minor children.
Right. No matter if you're paying it or not, you better be the owner.
You the owner.
Right.
Yeah, if you paying the premium, you better be the owner of it.
Right.
Because if you paying the premium on the policy and you're not the owner, the person who covered can come back and say, you know what, I'm changing the beneficiary and you've been paying on it for 20 years, but now I'm gonna get the money when you die. Or I'm gonna send the money to my girlfriend when I die. Because you was never the owner.
Wow.
That make sense?
Makes sense.
So you want to make sure we're on page 49, Justin. So you want to make sure that that you are the owner on anything that you're paying for. And now, point number 6 of a contract is the assignment. An assignment means that I can assign my policy over to anybody I want to. That means that I am the owner. I may want to give somebody else ownership. So I own my own insurance policy, but I may say I want to make Justin the owner. Well, that's called an assignment. So there's 2 types of assignment that you look at the bottom of page 49. You have what's called an absolute assignment. And an absolute assignment means I absolutely give over all my rights. That's an absolute assignment. That means you get it all. It's yours. Or you can have a collateral assignment. What's collateral mean? Hold this, I'm coming back. It's a partial assignment. So I may borrow 10 grand from you. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a collateral assignment of my life insurance policy so you know I'm going to pay you back. Does that make sense? So my life insurance policy may be $1 million policy. You temporarily own it, or you holding it. If I don't pay you back your 10 grand, this policy belongs to you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So it's just collateral. So there's 2 ways that you can assign on the policy. You can have a collateral assignment, or you can have an absolute assignment. Number 7, talking about payments and premium. Right? Payments, it can be level premium or flexible premium. Level means it what? It stays the same.
Stays the same.
Flexible means it can.
Fluctuate.
So when we talked about types of policies a couple of days ago, we talked about a policy called the universal life policy.
Right.
Remember, universal policy, you can pay the minimum premium, or you can pay the target premium, or you can not pay a premium at all. Because if you don't pay the premium at all, where do they get the money from?
Savings.
Out the savings account. And when the savings account goes dry, what happens to the policy?
If they don't get it from you, they close it.
It's canceled, right? So they don't get the money from you, the policy's canceled. So whenever you hear flexible premium, it's probably a universal life policy.
Okay.
Or adjustable rate policy, because the premium does this. So whenever you see a policy faceplate say flexible premium, adjustable rate, that's probably universal life policy. Does that make sense? So you got to watch out for that. Even when you're sitting down with clients, when you see flexible premium, oh, that's probably universal. All that means the price goes up when? Every year.
So do they get the choice to choose it, or do you offer it, or?
Universal?
Yeah.
Primerica sells 1 policy.
which is
term. That's all we believe in.
Okay, so
We think all this other stuff is crap.
Right.
Well, you got to learn about this crap
Right,
because you got to
it's gonna
pass
be
the
on the
test,
test.
and you got to know when you sit down with clients that got the crap. Right. See, when I met you and your wife, the way we in business together now is because I was able to explain that stuff
Right.
and tell y'all how it works, and y'all think like, yeah, it do work like that.
Right.
Yeah, they do got me borrowing my own money.
Yep.
Yeah, they do got me paying back more than interest. So you was able to, everything I talked about, you already, he knew what he was talking. So you want to, some people say just learn this stuff so you can pass the test. No, this your job.
Right, you need to know.
You need to know this, even though we only offer term. Right, I need to be knowledgeable of what my enemy. Right, I need to see the Patriots won their first Super Bowl because they had the Rams play. You see what I'm saying? Spygate. I want to know what my opponent got too, because I can disarm them when I know how they playing the game. So you want to keep it past that point.
Okay.
From under there, we look at point 8 of a contract and look at the grace period. And the grace period just means that the time that you got from when your check bounced before your policy is lapsed. So if somebody, oh, you know, I missed one premium and they cancel my policy, that's not true. Only premium that cancels your policy will make your coverage not effective on the first one is the first one. If you wrote me your first check and that didn't clear, you ain't got no coverage because the risk never exchanged. Insurance is a transferring of risk. Your money for our coverage. If the first check bounce, we never exchange risk. So once the first check clear, a person can bounce their next check. They still covered. You got a 30-day, 31-day grace period. So remember that. That's going to be on the test several times. There's a 31-day grace period. They ain't going to try to trick you. They're going to say 30 or 31. All right? And they got 30. They ain't going to have 30 as A, 31 as B. And maybe 30 as A, 15 as B, 32 as C. You know it's 30 or 31-day grace period. Does that make sense? Yeah. So even if you miss a payment, you got 31 days to get it in and your policy still is in effect. You can die in day 26 and still get paid the death benefit. Reinstatement. Reinstatement means your policy actually did lapse. You didn't get that payment in 30 days, 31 days, so it actually lapsed. So you can reinstate a policy. So the reinstatement provision allows a lapsed policy to be put back in force. The maximum time limit for a reinstatement is usually 3 years. So you highlight that. So a person who policy lapsed out, they can reinstate that same policy up under the same terms, up under the same rates, from up to 3 years of it being lapsed. But they got to pay back all the back premiums. Okay. So if you want to stay just like it was, you got to pay back all your back premiums. So who's going to pay back 3 years of premium? Nobody. Just start a new policy. Right. Does that make sense? So reinstate it or redate it. So you can do a reinstatement or reinstate with a redate. Reinstatement with a redate means keep the coverage and stuff the same. I understand I had a birthday, so my price probably going to go up, but I don't want to pay back all those back premiums. But if I want to reinstate it and make it like it was, then I got to pay back all the months that I missed. Okay. Does that make sense? Incontestability, this is huge. All policies are contestable up to, you see where it's in bold, 2 years. That means that we can contest paying you. If you die within 2 years, if you took out a policy and it's less than 2 years old, they're going to do their research before they pay that debt claim to make sure that it ain't contestable, to make sure you didn't lie on the application, right? So you took out a policy and I asked you if you got AIDS and you said no, but then you die within 2 years of AIDS, we're going to see if a doctor told you had AIDS. And if they did, we're going to contest that debt claim. We're not going to pay it. We're going to probably pay you back your premium that you paid in only. Does that make sense? Makes sense. After 2 years, it ain't contestable. So you can lie on the life insurance application. If you live 2 years, we still got to pay the debt claim. So I had a girl one time, I sat down with her, and I knew her, and I knew her family very well. Took out the life insurance application on her. We started asking a question about the medical of her daddy, and she said, no, he ain't sick. I'm knowing your daddy's sick. He's sitting right there with the oxygen tank right in front of him. He's like, no to everything. Wow. And I'm saying, baby, you know, if he died within 2 years, we ain't gonna pay you. We're gonna just give you your money back. She's like, yeah, I know. She said, but I'm gonna get back what I put into it. She said, so I ain't got nothing to lose. If he can live 2 years and die after 2 years, I get the $100,000. She said, if he don't live 2 years, I'm gonna get what I already had anyway. So she took the risk. He died 1 year and 6 months later. Wow. That's how it happened. Make sense?
But you could have been honest, paid a little bit more. Or they might not be.
We wasn't insuring him no matter what. Okay. He had a debt date. Wow. Somebody got a debt date, we ain't insuring him. Wow. Because you're going to pay me $50, $60 and I got to pay you 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever. Right. Not happening. He wasn't getting covered. Yeah.
So what you do? You tell them then, or you?
I tell them right in there. I was like, no, we're not going to cover you. Wow. Yeah, we're not going to cover you. I tell them then. Now, if they want to take the application, I'll take it. I'm not going to tell them. You know, and if she lied on the application, which she was, you got to record the answer just how she gave it to you. Right. But then there's 2 parts of an application. You got the general information, right? and then you have the medical information. Now, I can't put down on there what I thought I knew. I got to record her answers as she gave them to me. But in my agent statement, I put down client appears to be on oxygen. That's my agent statement. I tell them what I saw because we are the what? Field underwriters.
Right.
We the representation for the company. We represent the company. We don't represent the client, we represent the company. So I don't need somebody that's gonna die in 2 months to get a policy and pay us $50 and the company pay out 100 grand. You gotta respect the company money just like it's your money. Because the company go out of business, guess who else go out of business? You do, right? So you gotta look at it from that eye. I'm not gonna let a person say you don't smoke. Say you don't smoke.
Right.
So you get lower rates. No, we can't assess that risk properly. Because you saying you don't smoke. And now we're not getting tobacco rates from you. If you smoke, you probably going to die quicker than me.
Right.
So I got to assess that risk properly so the company can stay what? Profitable.
Profitable, right.
Does that make sense? They're going to pay a debt claim out.
To keep us profitable.
We got to keep us profitable. We are our company.
Right.
They give us stock and everything. Like when you get promoted up to different levels, they give me stock. So when you go to district, that 50% contract, they're going to give me stock. I stock trading at $100 a share. You think I want to mess that up?
Right.
No, this is our company. This is literally our company. I get when I get my 1099s, they also send me a statement for my stock. I got to pay taxes on the stock that's allocated to me. The interest that I earned on my stock. This is really our company. Ain't no outfit like this. That make sense? So that's the reinstatement incontestability is how many years?
2.
2 years. That 2 years doesn't matter if they lied. All right. The incontestability, last paragraph in the point 10 says the incontestability period does not apply to the event of non-payment of premiums, right? They ain't paid the premium, we ain't paying no debt claim. It also does not usually apply to statements regarding the age, sex, or identity. So if somebody lied and said I'm a boy, but they really a girl, that's not contestable. If they lied and said I'm 30, but I'm really 40, that's not contestable. All they're gonna do is adjust your debt benefit. If you had told me the right age, this is how much you would have got.
Okay.
So you're saying you're 30, but you really was 42. You wouldn't have got 100,000 for that price. You would only got 70. So they're gonna still pay that debt claim. They're gonna adjust that. Does that make sense? So you're lying about stuff that's health-wise is where they're gonna contest, but not age, not sex. Does that make sense? Misstatement of age or gender, and that clarifies what I just said. That if you're lying about your age or your gender, that's not contestable. They're just gonna adjust the debt claim down to what you would have got had we had the right information.
Okay.
That makes sense? Exclusions is very important. Exclusion, this is the things that they're gonna take off of the policy. Exclusions. So I'm gonna say that, yeah, I'm gonna insure you, but if you die because you race motorcycles, all right, I know you race motorcycles. I say I'm gonna insure you. I'm gonna protect you if you die any other kind of way except from driving that, racing that motorcycle. I'm gonna exclude you for any kind of way except if you fly in an airplane, right? That's called an exclusion. Aviation. Most life insurance will cover an insured as a what? Fare paying passenger or pilot on a regularly scheduled airline, but will exclude coverage for a non-commercial pilot or require an additional premium for their coverage. So if you go out there flying your own private plane, we're saying you kind of probably don't know what you're doing.
Right.
So we're going to exclude you dying by crashing your own plane. That's recreational. Now, if you die and you got on the plane that you paid the fare for, those people know what they're doing. We'll cover you if you die on that. And we'll cover the pilot if he die on that. But if the pilot got his own little jet, he want to fly around the moon, we ain't covering you. So that's called an exclusion. An exclusion is a rider that's placed on a policy for the insurance company to take away coverage.
Right.
So it's a rider. They added this rider on as an exclusion to take away coverage. When the insured add a rider, is to add coverage.
Okay.
Like I want to put a rider on my kids, my wife, my disability. I'm adding stuff to my policy. That's a rider. When an insurance company add a rider, is to take away coverage. If you die of this, we ain't paying. That makes sense? Or if you want us to pay if you die of that, pay us more premium because that's more risk that we taking on. That makes sense? And that covers in hazardous occupations or hobbies. Like they may not want to insure a firefighter and all that stuff like that. So they were using exclusion to take away that coverage. You die putting out a fire, that's on your fire division you work for. Make sense?
They have coverage.
War or military service. Most life insurance policies issued today do not exclude military service. However, there are actually two different types of exclusions that may be used to limit the death benefit if the insured died as a result of war or while serving in the military. The status clause excludes all causes of death while the insured is on active duty in the military, the status clause. So if you're on active duty and you die on a military base or something related, they're not gonna pay. It's called the status clause. Does that make sense? The result clause only excludes the death benefit if the insured is killed as a result of an act of war, declared or undeclared. So in 9/11, when those towers went down, they did not declare war on the United States. It was an undeclared war, but a lot of life insurance companies didn't pay those death claims because they died of a status clause. So those debt claims wasn't paid. You see 9/11, all that. You watch any of the movies, you see a lot of people are struggling out because they didn't pay the debt claims. A lot of insurance, we paid all ours because we don't do this foolery. We're going to pay you however you die. So they use the status clause and the result clause, rather, to not pay the debt claims. The result clause means you died as a result of somebody having war on the United States, whether declared or undeclared. So the result clause means that they exclude, they didn't pay them people debt claims.
Oh, so either one they won't pay.
Status clause, they won't pay if you in the military yourself.
Right.
And you died while you was active duty military.
Right.
Status clause, they won't pay if that exclusion is on your policy.
Gotcha.
Result clause means you died as a result that somebody
Else.
declared war on the United States. You ain't got to be in the army, but you died as a result somebody got war on the United States, declared or undeclared. Doesn't matter if they declared war or didn't declare war. You died as a result of that. As a result clause, a result of them having war on us, you died. We ain't paying. So a lot of companies never paid the debt claim. That makes sense? It's just important stuff to know. Now, if they're going to have an exclusion, the exclusion has to be prominently displayed on the face page of the policy. So as soon as they open up their policy, the first page has to say, we ain't paying if you die because of this, 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 or this. Well, who reading all that? Nobody. Because guess what's in big print? 100,000.
Right.
That's the bold print, give it. The fine print, take it away. So you gotta know that. So this is stuff you want to look as an agent. When you go in there, some people got policies, you gotta know this stuff. I say, I don't lose to other agents, another company. I know how to go through this stuff and read it. And I look at this and say, oh, you know you got a status clause on this? You know if you die as a result of being active duty military, the status clause say they ain't gonna pay your debt claim? You know the result clause say that if you die as a result because somebody else decided to run some planes into the tower, you ain't getting paid? Declared or undeclared. If you you're still a game you play, I declare war. If you don't declare war, they still ain't paying you.
Wow.
So you gotta understand that. Suicide clause put down 1 year. Somebody take out life insurance policy and they kill themselves in the first year, then ain't no debt claims gonna get paid. So whenever you take out life insurance policy, you gotta stay alive at least 1 year. You can't kill yourself within a year. If you kill yourself within a year, they ain't gonna pay you. They gonna give your family back the premium that you paid.
Okay.
So if you're thinking about killing yourself, you gotta do it for 1 year. And by then, your team won the Super Bowl, so you might change your mind. But you have 1 year. All right?
Wow.
So why they put this stuff in place? Because people took out life insurance policy and they were going to kill themselves.
Oh, you say so. I just didn't see. I ain't interested in that. So you say if they died in up to 1 year or after that 1 year?
Within 1 year.
Within 1 year, okay.
If you're thinking about killing yourself,
You gotta do it.
so your family can get some money,
You gotta do it within 1 year.
you got a whole year to think about killing yourself.
That's crazy.
By then, you should probably change your mind.
Yeah.
It ain't that
I
bad.
didn't think they paid it off for suicide.
1 year.
Wow.
Yeah. But they got to prove you just thinking about,
Killing yourself.
and you actually did it. And that's on purpose.
I only asked because I thought that was gonna be on the test or something.
It is. Suicide clause is going to be on the test. They're going to try to check you on how many years. Like, because I think Illinois is 2 years.
Yeah, because I read somewhere it was
We gotta
2
know that.
years.
No, you got to know nobody Illinois.
Right.
No. Contestability is 2 years.
Okay.
If you lied on the application, 2 years to contest.
Okay.
Suicide 1 year, contestability 2 years. Don't mix it up.
Okay.
They're going to try to mix you up.
What's
Same
disability?
question.
Contestability means that you lied on the application.
Oh, lied on the
Girl had a daddy, died within 2 years. We'll
Gotcha,
pay nothing but
gotcha.
the premium back.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Yep, and these just, all this test is number, dates, and timelines. Numbers, dates, and timelines. It ain't math, it's numbers, dates, and timelines. Suicide clause, 1 year. Contestability, 2 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Renew your license every 2 years. That's stuff we're gonna get on chapter 5 and 6. So it's all number, dates, and timelines.
Renew which license?
Your life insurance license, like the license you finna take a test for, every 2 years you gotta renew it.
Renew it.
Mhm.
You don't have to take a test, though. You just renew it.
You just gotta do continuing education.
Okay. Okay.
Go online and read some paragraphs
Okay.
for 16 hours.
Mm.
And then it's a test, but it ain't a test. It ain't no official test. You can go do it open book while you're sitting there reading
Okay.
to make sure you're still up on the game. All right, Justin, pick up and read beneficiaries.
The beneficiary is the person or interest to which the policy proceeds will be paid upon the death of the insured. The beneficiary may be a person, class of persons, sometimes used with children of the insured. The insured's estate or an institution or other entity such as a foundation, charity, corporation, or trustee of a trust. Trusts are commonly used in conjunction with beneficiary designations to manage life insurance proceeds for a minor or for estate tax purposes.
And so that's why it's not good to make minor children beneficiaries, because then that money gonna go to an estate. An estate tax attorney is gonna take about a third of the money, right? Acting like they're trying to decide how the money should be regulated, but really they're just trying to get paid. So you don't want to use that.
So what's the age for a child?
18. Yeah, 18. And for my kids like 18, I don't want to leave them with $1 million at 18.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be gone. Yeah. So you want to use that. So when you think about beneficiaries, you got a primary. That just means that's the first person I want to get the money if I die, right? So my wife is my primary beneficiary. My mother is my contingent. So if my wife died before me, then my wife is my mother is the contingent. Does that make sense? My backup. If my wife died before me or with me, somebody still got to get paid the money. So my mother will be the contingent, the backup, the secondary, right? And then you have a third one that's called like a tertiary beneficiary. That's probably not going to be on the test, but there can be a third. And that's just saying my wife died, my mama died, and then I got to get a third person. But that won't be on the test. That's just for you to know. All right. Now, beneficiaries can be either revocable or irrevocable. Beneficiary designations may be either revocable or irrevocable. The policy owner, without the consent of knowledge of the beneficiary, may change a revocable designation at any time. So if your beneficiary is revocable, you can change it at any time. A revocable beneficiary, you can change at any time because it's revocable. Irrevocable means you can't change it. And if you do change it, you got to get the consent of the insured. You can own the policy, but you can't change the beneficiary or nothing about the policy that would manipulate the value of it without the consent of the insured, because you made it irrevocable. You said, I'm signing this and I'm agreeing not to change it. Right? Now, why would a person do that? Well, they got a troubled marriage. Right. So if your husband and wife and y'all don't know y'all don't really be together, but y'all taking out this life insurance policy, you don't want him to run out with his girlfriend and then make her the beneficiary. So you make it irrevocable. So if we change anything about it, we both got to sign off on it, the insured and the owner. So that's an irrevocable beneficiary. Does that make sense? So revocable means I can change it. Irrevocable means you cannot change it. Common disaster clause. Number 3, common disaster clause. If the insured and the primary beneficiary die at approximately the same time from a common accident with no clear evidence as to who died first, a problem may arise in identifying which party is eligible for the death benefit. The common disaster clause, which is provided under the Uniform Simultaneous Death law, has been adopted by most states to address this problem in order to protect the policy owner original intent as well as to protect the contingent beneficiary. In other words, it sounds like me and my wife riding in the car together. I make her my primary beneficiary, but we in a car crash and we die about at the same time.
Right.
So now she ain't gonna get the money, but me and her on the same policy. So who should get it? We got kids, 2 separate sets of kids. She had something before me, I had something before her. Do her kids get the money? Do my kids get the money? Do her mama get the money? Do my mama get the money? I wanted my wife to get the money. I didn't necessarily want her mama to get it, but her mama is her next of kin. So you see how this can be a problem. Because now we both dead, I wanted her to get the money. What we gonna do? So they put the simultaneous death clause in place. It says under Uniform Simultaneous Death law, it will be assumed that the primary beneficiary died when? First. So me and my wife driving in the car, she's my primary beneficiary. Up under Uniform Simultaneous Death law, they're gonna say, hey, we're gonna assume the wife died first. Because they want to make sure my wishes are honored. I wanted her to get the money. Right. So if they saying that she was my beneficiary, this money's belong to her.
It's going to her mother.
It's going to her mother.
But they assume she died first, then the money never would have switched hands because she died before me.
Right.
So now it goes to my contingent because they're gonna automatically assume that she died when? Before I did.
Right.
So if she did before me, then the contingents automatically get the money. They're trying to make sure that the wishes of the policy owner or the insured is honored.
Okay.
If they saying my wife died after me, they saying, well, that money transferred hands. That was her money. You died first, she died second. So now that was legally her money. So now her mama get it. So this saying that, listen, we're gonna automatically say she died first. We gonna try, I don't care if she was on a breathing machine.
Right.
She could be on a breathing machine still alive. Only way the money transfer her hands is she got to stay alive for 30 days. After 30 days, then they say, okay, she stayed alive long enough, that money would have been hers. She died within 30 days, they're gonna assume she died before me. Even though I could be all the way dead, she could be on her way to dead and live 30 days. If she lived 30 days, that's enough time for the money to transfer hands. Then it goes to her mama. Does that make sense? But if she died within 30 days, goes to my mama. The Uniform Simultaneous Death Law, Common Disaster Clause, protects the intent of the insurer. What did I want to happen? I wanted my wife to get it, not her mama. That makes sense? That protects against that. So they got these provisions in there so that we can know what's up. Does that make sense? Automatic premium loans. All that is just saying that you get policy loans and you got automatic premium loan. You can borrow, like if it's a whole life policy, you can borrow from it, right?
Right.
But if you borrow money from your policy and you don't pay it back, and the policy cash value goes to zero, your policy terminates because you took out a loan and didn't pay it back. And whenever you borrow money and you owe it back with interest, then they depleting that savings account because they're taking the interest and all that you owe out of that savings. If that savings come to zero, your policy terminates. So they give you a 30-day lapse notice and let you know, hey, we canceling your policy. But all lapses got a 30. All policy before you insurance company can legally lapse you, they got to give you a 30-day grace period. So they give you 30 days, say you better get this money back in here, or then if you don't, you ain't got no policy, right? If you want to borrow money from your policy, you see where it's highlighted in bold, they can make you wait up to 6 months. So it's your money in the policy. It's crazy you got to borrow it in the first place. But secondly, they can tell you, well, you might be able to get this loan, but if so, we could make you wait up to 6 months. You need your money right now, obviously. Don't nobody need to borrow money that they need 6 months from now. You know what I'm saying? If you need the money, you needed it today. They can make you wait 6 months, unless it's for to pay your premium. See, if you want to use your money in your policy to pay your premium,
You can get
that right there, because does that make sense? About riders, which ride so you can add coverage to your policy. If the insurance company add a rider, it's to do what?
Take away.
Take away coverages, right? All right, so let's flip over to page 53. Let's talk about disability riders. That just simply means that somebody may have a disability rider saying if I get disabled, right? If I get disabled, then I don't have to pay, I can do what's called a waiver of premium. Waive my premium, like we got that option on our policy, like the client can pay extra money to get a waiver premium. So if they became disabled, then their premium is waived until they able again. Does that make sense? When you're able to go back to work, then your premiums are picked back up. But you got to be disabled for 6 months for that to kick in.
Okay, so would you have to pay the back pay?
No, it's waived.
so what you saying, you ain't gotta pay your little monthly premium?
No.
Because you disabled.
Oh, so
You're
that's
disabled.
waiver
Yeah,
premium.
waiver of premium. They're gonna waive your premium. If you became disabled, they waive your premium. If you pay for that rider.
And you
That's a
say-
rider you can add.
Right, and you say you gotta be disabled for 6
6 months to get it. So you got to be able to pay your premium for at least 6 months.
I got
After the 6 months, then they gonna pay you back for those 6 months that you paid, and then they're gonna waive it as long as you're disabled. And if you die, your family get everything that you would have got, even if you wasn't disabled and paid. Everything stays the same. Does that make sense?
So your rider usually expires when you?
At 65. Yeah,
65.
highlight that. Yeah, the waiver premium usually falls at 65. So if you get disabled before 65, you got it. If you in disability, if you disabled and you 67 and the rider already kicked in, it's gonna keep on waiving it until you able to do your thing again. If you're never able, you got your policy forever, but you ain't never got to pay no premium.
Okay.
It's called a waiver premium. That makes sense? Waiver of monthly deduction. The waiver of monthly deduction riders pays all monthly deductions while the insured is disabled. After 6 months of waiting period. So again, after 6 months waiting period, this rider only pays the monthly deductions and not the full premium necessary to accumulate cash value. So if you got a cash value policy, it ain't paying the cash value right? It's not paying the cash value. They ain't gonna pay for you to accumulate money. It's just paying to make sure your insurance stays in force. That make sense? So those are what you call a waiver of premium. Payer benefit rider is the next one. A payer benefit rider means like if you got a minor child that you bought a policy on and you die, well, that minor child can't pay for their own insurance. So they got a payer benefit rider, which allows the policy to stay in force until the client is usually 21 years old. So it pays for it for them until they're 21 years old, and at that point they take it over, and they got to start paying premium. So that's the payer benefit. Don't mix that up with waiver of premium. It's the same thing, but it's for minor childs. Yeah. Rider covering additional insured. So you got the child rider, you got the spouse rider. That's when you can add a child or a spouse to your policy, so it saves you money. You got all these separate policies because every policy got a policy fee. So you can add on your family members to your policy as riders. Riders affecting the death benefit amount. So there's certain riders that affect your death benefit called accelerated death benefit or accidental death and dismemberment. So accelerated death benefit means that you getting the money before you die. It's accelerated, right? You're getting it faster. Okay. So that's right here on page 55. You see, page 55. That's okay. So page 55, we're talking about riders affecting the death benefit, accidental death or accidental death and dismemberment, or these are all kind of benefits that will affect your death benefit. So if I get an accidental death policy, right? If I got a regular life insurance policy for $100,000, then I get accidental death added on top of it. That just simply means that if I die by accident, they're gonna pay me double.
Okay.
It's called double indemnity. Or I can get what's called triple indemnity. Triple indemnity means if I die by accident, they're gonna pay me 3 times as much. That's a rider that I added. So if I die of natural causes, I get $100,000. If I die by accident, I get 200. If I got double indemnity. If I die, if I got triple indemnity, I get 3 times as much.
And what's considered an accident?
Pow! Shot you in your head.
Right.
It's an accident. Accidents is anything outside the body. If you die by some kind of cause that was outside of your body, that's an accident.
Gotcha.
If you die from some cause inside your body,
Then that's natural.
that's natural causes. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So if you got an old grandmama and you got accidental death on her, if she died in the house and fall on the floor, you see on the floor,
That's-
take her to the roof and push her off. You'll get double the money. She already dead, she ain't gonna feel it. That's always time. Grandma, if you die, it was off the roof. You was up there trying to fix the chimney at 70. Pow! Take one for the team.
We gonna get you the nice.
That's right. So that's accidental death, then you have accidental death and dismemberment. Accidental death and dismemberment on page 56 saying, even if you don't die, but you may have a dismemberment. I lost an arm. So if I lose one limb, they'll give me 50% of my face amount. So if I had $100,000 but I lost an arm, they'll pay me $50,000 prior to dying. Now I ain't just getting $50,000; it's gonna deduct it from my death benefit. So if I die, my family don't get $50,000 because they gave me $50,000 up front because I lost an arm, or I lost an eye, or I lost a leg, or I lost a hand. You lose one member, you get half. You lose 2, you can get it all. Does that make sense? So you got accidental death, and you got accidental death and dismemberment. If I get dismembered, I can get, depending on what I lose, if I lose an eye and a leg, that's still 2 parts. I get the full amount. All right?
And then how does that work? It don't go just towards your premium because it's the full amount.
You got it all.
Oh, so they paid it out to you?
Yes,
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, you paid it out. Yeah. So then you got accelerated debt benefits. It's at the bottom of page 56. Accelerated debt benefits means that I'm gonna accelerate your debt benefit. Again, you're still alive. I'm gonna get your debt benefit faster. Right? I mean, it's gonna accelerate. So that means like if I got a grandmama and she got to go to a nurse home, convalescent home, living facility, excuse me, but she ain't got no insurance to pay for it, we can use a percentage of our life insurance policy to pay for it. Because she about to die anyway, so y'all gonna get it pretty soon anyhow. So they'll let you use it now to try to stay alive.
Right.
That's how it works. So it's called an accelerated debt benefit. We're gonna give it to you faster.
Early payment.
Early payment, yeah. You may want to go see the world. You know you finna die in 6 months. You may want to go see Africa. Take some of your money up front. Leave your family to change. Or J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. They may want some of it. You got options. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So it's usually for convalescent homes, nursing home facilities, things like that, long-term care, things like that, you can use it. Ours allow you to use up to 80%. So we got 100,000, you can use 80,000 prior to dying. That make sense? And so those are called accelerated death benefits. Guaranteed insurability, that just means, look right here, the middle of page 56. Middle of page 56, guaranteed insurability means that they guarantee gonna allow you to increase your coverage without proving insurable. They'll guarantee that you add your kids that's just now born to your policy. It's called a guaranteed insurability rider. So I can get a kid that's born with a defect. They still gonna get insurance. Does that make sense? Guaranteed insurability. All right, page 58, we're talking about options. And options talking about which, when it comes to your debt benefit, right? Non-forfeiture options is the first one we're gonna talk about. That means that you can't forfeit your policy because you can't afford to pay for it no more. You got cash value. There's certain benefits that come to a cash value policy, and that means the benefits is coming to with the cash that you're building up. So you're gonna accumulate a savings, right? If you don't want the policy no more, I can't afford the policy. They just don't cancel it and keep your savings. You got options. I can't afford it no more, but I got 10 grand saved up. So I want you to do this. Instead of me not having insurance no more, give me a reduced paid up insurance policy. So if I had a policy for 50,000, you see this illustration over here, a $50,000 policy, and I decided with this $50,000 policy, I can't afford it no more, and I want to use my non-forfeiture options of reduced paid up insurance. If I had the policy for 10 years, you all see right here where I had the policy for 10 years, my cash value was how much in 10 years?
4,650.
Right. So I can't afford my policy no more. I don't want to lose my cash, so I'm gonna get reduced paid up insurance. So reduce me down. I had a $50,000 policy, but I got $4,600. Well, how much insurance can I get for $4,600 that's paid off? How much can I get?
14.5.
14.5. How long? And so that's what's gonna happen. I ain't never got to pay a bill again, but I got $14,500 worth of insurance. So when I die, my family gonna get 14.5 because I took my cash and bought a reduced policy, but it's paid off. It was 50,000 in insurance. I can't afford it no more. Reduce it down with the cash that I built up and pay it off. That's reduced paid up. My second option can be extended term. So extended term saying, listen, I can't afford my policy no more, but I got $4,650. So give me some extended term. So my policy stays at 50,000, what I took it out for, but it's term now. How many years would that term be for?
35 years.
Well, right here in the answers, reduced paid up, right where you at. That's extended term option. Extended term option. All right.
15
Oh,
years.
for 15
15
years.
years and 6 months. That's how much. That's how long. But it's still 50,000. It ain't reduced down. It's 50,000 worth of insurance, and I get to keep it for 15 years and 6 months because that's how much I can get for $4,650. I just extended my term. It's not whole life anymore. It's converted to an extended term. I still keep 50,000, but 4,600 let me keep it for 15 years. After 15 years, I ain't got no insurance no more. I don't lose my cash. It's my non-forfeiture option. I don't forfeit the cash that I built up. I don't want the policy no more. I can't afford the policy no more. But I built up $4,650 in it. So give me some reduced paid up insurance. That means I'll get $14,500 when I die. That's what my family gonna get. And I never get a bill again. Or I don't want to reduce mine down. Just give me extended term. Keep me at 50,000, and I keep the 50,000 for how long? 15 years and 6 months. Or I can say, hey, you know what? Just cash surrender me. That means I got $4,650. Cut me a check. That's your option. You got 3 non-forfeiture options. Give me my cash. That's called surrender. So they got to cut me a check for $4,650. You all see that, right? After 10 years, you got $4,650.
Right.
So that means that's called cash surrender. They got to give you your cash. These are non-forfeiture options. If I don't want the policy no more, I can't afford to pay for it no more, I got 3 non-forfeiture options. I do not forfeit my money. Here is my non-forfeiture options. Give me my cash. That means cash surrender. Give me a reduced paid up policy. Means I can reduce down what I got and it's paid off, but I'm going to get only 14.5, not 50,000. Or give me extended term. Extended term ain't forever, but for $4,650, I can keep $50,000 worth of insurance for 15 years and 6 months. Those are my non-forfeiture options. All cash value policies have non-forfeiture options. If your policy lapses and you don't pick one, they pick it for you. So people who had whole life and think their policy is lapsed, it is lapsed. But they just kicked in your non-forfeiture option. You didn't know that, so guess which one they're gonna give you? Which one? It's three options. Which one you think the company gonna give you? What's more advantageous to the company?
Term.
The term. Because they may not ever have to pay you nothing. In 15 years, you may be still alive. Year 16, you die, they give you nothing. But if you get reduced paid up, they gotta give you what? 14,000. If you get cash surrender, they gotta hand you a check for 4,600. They ain't trying to hand you no check for 4,600, and they ain't trying to pay your mama 14,000 when you die. So they're gonna give you a term and hope you die after 15 years. That makes sense? Those are called your non-forfeiture options. I built up cash.
Your term would be 15 years.
Term is 15 years. They hope you die in year 16.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
So somebody said I had a policy, I had it for 30 years, it just lapsed. Well, the first thing I want to do is want them to go get the policy. So I can help them see what they non-forfeiture options are. Does that make sense? You got to know this stuff.
Now, question. I
Uh-huh.
do got a question about this chart over here.
Yeah.
At the very first top, it's saying days, and then when we drop
60
down,
days.
yeah, and then when we drop down to like example to where we was at,
Yeah.
10, it say 15 years
Yeah.
and 6 days.
That means that that's how much you can afford. That's how much they can pay for now. Over the time, they still paying money in this policy. And the more money they put in it, the more that it increases their non-forfeiture values. The cash values accumulate. You see zeros in the first year because normally in the cash value policy, money don't accumulate for the first 3 years.
I got you.
So after the third year, that's when you start seeing money
Money
accumulate.
accumulate.
It don't normally start accumulating until the third
I
year.
got you, I got you, I
Yeah,
got you.
make sense?
Got you.
All right, let's go to page 60. So those are non-forfeiture options. The next one is called dividend options. Don't mix these up. There's non-forfeiture. Forfeit means I can't forfeit my money that I built up, right? These are called dividend options. Dividend means I'm going to divide back to you my profits. Dividends. The companies made more money than they thought they was going to make. So they'll divide it back with the people who bought policies. They're going to pay you back some of your money by way of a dividend. I'm going to divide my overage with you. Does that make sense? Now, forfeiture means I can't lose what I built up. Dividend means they're going to divide their profits with you. So a dividend options means that, listen, we charge you $80 a month. And that was based on what we thought our expenses was needing to be and what our profit margins need to be. And we shot over. We overcharged you. A dividend is only a refund of overpaid premium. Does that make sense? So the company saying we're going to give you some of the money back. So how do you want your dividend option? You want cash? That means they're going to cut you a check. You want a reduction of your premium? That means we was charging you $80 normally a month. You want to take this dividend and give it back to us. Instead of charging you $80 a month, we'll charge you $70 because you applied the dividend back towards your premium. That makes sense? So that's a reduction of premium. The third option is accumulate interest. So take that dividend check of $1,000 and put it into the savings so I can build up interest on it. Does that make sense? You don't pay taxes on the dividend itself because all that is a refund of your money you already paid. So if I got money and I'm paying my life insurance policy, that money was taxed when I paid for my life insurance, right? My paychecks automatically get taxed. So if I paid for my life insurance and they gave me a dividend back, then I don't pay no taxes on that dividend because that money was taxed when I paid for the life insurance. But if you give me a dividend back, I don't owe Uncle Sam no taxes on that dividend because it's money that I just got refunded. So you don't pay income taxes on the tax return. Does that make sense?
Right.
That was already tax money. But if you take that dividend check and put it in a vehicle to create interest, then the interest that you gain on that dividend is taxable. Because anytime you make some new money, IRS want a piece of it. Does that make sense? But the dividend itself is old money. It was already taxed when you gave it to the insurance company. You got your checks, taxes already came out, right?
Right.
So that's accumulate at interest. So that's taxable, and that's going to be on the test. Paid up additions. That means, listen, you got a dividend. They sent you the check. You said, no, I don't want no check. Take this check back, and I want some paid up additional insurance. I had a $10,000 policy. You sent me a $500 dividend check. Take that $500 and give me an extra $1,000 worth of insurance. But I want it paid up. I don't never want no bill for that piece. You can keep charging my monthly premium on the $10,000, but that extra $1,000, use this dividend and give me however much I can get for this $500. That's called paid up additions. I want some paid up additional insurance. Does that make sense?
So would the policy increase?
The face amount will, but the premium won't, because you said, give me some paid up additional insurance. Face amount gonna increase, because that's what you took your dividend for, and say, I want some extra insurance, but I don't want no bill, I don't want no extra bill every month. Take this and pay it up for however much I can get for this amount.
Okay.
And then you got paid up insurance. That's the difference between paid up additions. Paid up insurance means take my dividend and pay up my policy as long as you can pay it up for with that dividend. I want some paid up insurance. Pay it up quicker. That's the difference. Don't get mixed up with paid up additions with paid up insurance. I want to pay my insurance up. I got my taxes, I want to pay it off for a year. I got my dividend, I want to pay it off for a year. That's paid up insurance, meaning I don't got to pay no premium. Paid up additions mean I want some paid off additional insurance. Accumulated interest means I want this dividend to go in an account and let it make me some money. Reduction in premium means take this dividend, and I was paying $80 a month, reduce that down to $70. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then cash means, yeah, send me the check and I'm gonna cash it. So the name says it all. This ain't confusing. Paid up additional insurance, I want some paid up additional insurance. Don't send me no another bill. Give me what I can get for this amount forever.
Mm-hmm.
Reduce paid up, I want some
You want some reduced.
my policy reduced. That's your non-forfeiture option. Don't mix up your dividend option with your non-forfeiture options. I got 3 non-forfeiture options. That means I can't forfeit my cash that I built up. So send me a check or reduce my policy and make it paid off, or give me some extended term for the same amount that I already had for as long as I can get it. Non-forfeiture versus dividend. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Third one is settlement options. What does the word settle means? How do you want to settle up?
Right.
Somebody died. How do you want us to settle up with you? Your mama dead. We got $100 grand. How do you want us to settle up with you? You want that check? That would be cash. You want life income? Don't give me no check. Put the money into an annuity, right? And that annuity gonna pay you $100 a month for the rest of your life, or $1,000 a month for the rest of your life. You want an income for life? Don't cut me no check for $100,000, sir. I'm bad with money. I'm gonna spend it all. So just give me income for the rest of my life, because my mama used to pay all the bills here, and I got to make sure I can still pay them. So instead of cutting me a check, give me income for life. Third option means single life. The single life option can provide a single beneficiary income for what? The rest of his or her life. Single life on one person. Joint and survivor means, hey, it's me and my brother. My mama died. Me and my brother. Give us joint and survivor income. So you're going to pay both of us until both of us is dead for the rest of our life. But if we pick joint and survivor, then the monthly amount that we're going to get going to be lower, because they got to pay it for the life of 2 people. Single person monthly payment is going to be higher, because they only got to pay it for 1 life. Does that make sense? Because the risk the insurance company take on this is that whatever they guarantee to pay you for the rest of your life, every month or every year, even if the money is all gone, they still got to pay it. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So these are your settlement options. Here's how I want to what? Settle up. Next one is life refund. The life refund option, life refund income option comes in either a cash refund from or an installment refund form. Both options guarantee that the total annuity fund will be paid out to the annuitant or to the beneficiary. The difference between the 2 options is that under the cash refund option, if the annuitant dies before the annuity fund is depleted, a lump sum settlement of the remainder will be made to the who? Beneficiary. While under the installment refund option, the beneficiary will receive the remaining funds in the form of a continued annuity payment. So if you think about it, if you want installments, that means that the person can die who's supposed to be receiving that money. If they die in an installment refund, they're going to just pay it to somebody else in installments until it run out. Or a cash refund option saying when the person died who was getting that money, when they die, we're just going to give you the balance. So you want a cash refund? That means when the person who was receiving that annuity money, they died, we're going to give the beneficiary the balance. If they said installment refund, that means that the person who's going to get the money after they die, just get it in installment payments until it run out.
So who would be that person? Is it somebody you
Whoever you name.
designated? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Just like life insurance, you name your beneficiary.
Okay.
The other settlement option is life with period certain. Life with period certain. Say, man, I want to make sure a certain amount of money get paid out. So I want life income, but if my life ends in 7 years, man, I still got a whole lot of money left in that. I don't want the insurance company to keep it. So I want you to at least guarantee me you're gonna pay somebody out for a certain period of time. Probably 10 years is normally what they do. So even if somebody died and we supposed to be paying this money out on a month-to-month basis or annual basis, if they die quick, the insurance company got a lot of change they keeping. So give me a period of certain. So give me at least 10 years. If I die before 10 years, you're gonna pay somebody else this money. That makes sense? Why would they pick life income period certain instead of because they saying, listen, I don't want y'all keeping all that change. Interest only. You got $1 million. Your son the beneficiary. He 19. You want that 19-year-old to get $1 million at one time? No. Tell him give him interest only. So the $1 million go into an annuity. He live off the 10% return. Interest only. It pays him $100,000 a year. Because he living off the interest. Until he grow up and know how to handle $1 million. So he get interest only. Then you got fixed period installments. That means they're going to send you a certain amount of money for a certain amount of time. It's fixed period installments. We're going to pay you an installment of money for a fixed period of time. When that time is up, ain't nothing else to get. 10 years, 20 years, you pick it. Fixed amount installments. Not fixed period, fixed amount. That means you want a certain amount coming out every month. You may say, I want $5,000 a month. Okay, great. That's fixed amount. You will get $5,000 a month until the money run out. Those are your settlement options. How do you want to what? How you want to settle up? None trickery about it. This is just how you want to what? How you want to set it up. So that's life provision, riders, and options. Let's go back to the snapshots. And let's hit these, and then we're going to take a 5-minute break and come back and hit this last chapter and let y'all get back to y'all day because I got to go sell some showers. All right, so page 47. Page 47. What constitutes the entire contract? The entire contract. You got to have the policy, and affixed to that policy got to be the original application, right? The policy, the original application. Once you got the policy and original application, any amendments, any riders that was added, any of that stuff got to be affixed to the entire contract. So when a person get the insurance contract, all the riders got to be on there. Any amendments got to be on there. That's what constitutes the entire contract. And a copy of the original application they took out with them to make sure you ain't changed nothing when you what? When you left. Number 2, what is the free look period? And when does it begin?
Free look begins when you sign the contract.
When you deliver the policy back to them.
Yeah.
It's in their hand. And how many days they got?
You get 10 days.
10 days to get their money back. What is the difference between absolute assignment and collateral assignment?
Absolute is absolutely.
You got all of
You
it.
got all of it.
Collateral,
Collateral is
You got partial.
partial. Hold this until I come back. I borrowed $10,000 from you. And if I don't pay you back, you own my life insurance policy. It was collateral. I signed my policy over to you as collateral. Make sense? What's the purpose of a grace period on the policy? How many days you get for a grace period?
I think 30 to
30, 31 days, right? What's the purpose of it?
to look over this.
To avoid unintentional lapses. I ain't trying to let my policy lapse, but my check bounced. So I got a grace period. My grace period is 30, 31 days to get that money in. It's helped to avoid, the grace period is to help avoid unintentional lapses. What is the difference between a revocable or irrevocable beneficiary?
Revocable is you can change them. Irrevocable, you can't change them.
Unless you get what? Permission from the insured.
Okay.
If you make it irrevocable, you need permission from the insured before you change the beneficiary. Or anything that would change the value of the policy. You can't borrow no money out of it or nothing. All right, that's the purpose of it. That's the difference between revocable and irrevocable beneficiary. What happens to a unpaid policy loan at the insured's debt? You died and you ain't pay back your money you borrowed off your policy. What happened when you die?
It's void.
Well, no. You owe money.
They take it out your.
They take it out the debt
Take it out your
benefit. Yeah, you borrowed, you gotta pay that back. Your family gotta pay it back. What's the purpose of an automatic premium loan? Automatic premium loan. What's the purpose of that? You can't afford to pay your premium. So where they gonna get the money from? You can't afford to pay it.
Hey, hold
they're gonna take it from your cash value. Remember, if you don't pay it and you got cash value, they're gonna take automatic premium loan out. They're gonna let you borrow money out of your own cash so you can keep the policy in place. Because you wanna do your own loan, they can make you wait 6 months, but they ain't gonna make you wait 6 months if it's to pay the premium. So the automatic premium loan allows you to borrow money out of your policy to keep the policy in force. Which riders increase the amount of the debt benefit? Like you had 100,000, but you can get 200 or 3. What rider allows that to increase? Push your grandmama off the roof.
Or
Accidental debt, right? Accidental debt. If you die by accident, it increases the debt benefit. Which riders allows the early payment of a portion of the debt benefit? You can get some of the money early, faster,
And the
accelerated debt benefit, living benefit rider. Help them pay for a nursing home, convalescent home. Let you get some of the money faster. It's called accelerated debt benefit or living benefit. What are the 3 non-forfeiture options? I got money, I don't want this policy no more, but I cannot forfeit my cash. What is the 3 non-forfeiture options? You get to choose. You don't want to pay for it no more. You got 3 options. One of them is send me a check. The other one is I want to keep my insurance, but do what? Reduce paid up or extend the term, right? Number 12, which dividend option increases the debt benefit? Which dividend options, I want to divide my profit back with you. Which one would increase your debt benefit? Which one causes you to get more insurance? Paid up additions. Paid up additions. That allows you to get more insurance. You paid it up, but it's additional. And number 13, what settlement options? Settlement options, how we gonna settle up? What settlement options are available in life insurance policies? What are available? What's your options? Somebody died and it's time for you them to settle up with you. What are your options?
single life,
And then
Single life, cash,
life income joining.
life income, join the survivor. Got several one of them. So remember, the test gonna be multiple choice. This is just to make your brain think.
Right.
All right. Yeah, homework is gonna be to do the multiple part. All right, so let's take 3 minutes, guys. We're gonna hit tax and retirement, and we're gonna get out of here.